Nah, I'm good right now, man. Appreciate it.
Remain in second place because Team Queso, another team, very aggressive.
I mean, that's like somebody handing you a check for 10,000. It's like, no, I want it back. You got to hold on to it, Dave. You got to hold on to it with both hands. And in this case, if you're Furious Gaming, you got to try and hold on to your pants just a little bit because you're getting rushed by multiple players here. Syndicate just trying to hold on. Verratti going to look to try and get this revive off. I like this position. Can still watch the staircase while getting the revive. That is a heads-up play.
Let's see. Oh,
So
pulling off of it. Pulling off of it.
They need to do it.
And for good reason, because M249, that rat-ta-ta-ta weapon right there. Sorry, I'll chill out a little bit. I'm just getting super pumped up, man. I'm liking that game number 2. We got some hot drops, and that's not something we've seen at all here during the finals. So I think this game has a different vibe to it already, right, Viram?
100%. I mean, Syndicate, one of these teams down towards the bottom of the leaderboards. Furious Gaming, also another one of these teams that hasn't had the best weekend so far. So the idea, if you're one of these squads, and I think it's Syndicate in this situation, that wants to go in and just pick up a bunch of extra points, you'd love to see it. Worlds with the... Oh! Gets turned on! You can't be missing shots at this level of play. Oh, okay. A few extra bullets than were needed there.
Just in case, yeah. Just in case. Yeah. And, well... Syndicate, man, I'm looking at them right here. They are trying their best to come out on top of this one, but it's not looking the best. And Syndicate actually... Interesting. Looking at the teammates, it looked like they pulled out those bench players here this game. You got World, you got Issue. Looks like they did swap out Brain and Ace on here. Very interesting late game switch, and it looks like, well, those bench players, they're going to be, well, going back to lobby a little earlier than expected here.
I mean, there's still 3 alive, but yeah, I mean, again, it's the final few games of the last day. It's not looking ideal. So give those, you know, those bench players, those sub players, a little bit of actual real game time, throw them into a hot drop. But the thing to keep in mind, Dave, is they are on the far northern edge of the map. They're up in La Crobriera, which I can't roll my R's, so that would sound abysmal. Oh! That being said, they're still hitting shots. That also being said, the circle's moving in, and they don't got a lot of time.
Yeah, so these are the 2 teams dead last overall leaderboard. Syndicate, well, not dead last, but close to the bottom. And very interesting to see these trades kind of going back and forth.
Both of these teams just trying to get a stronger numerical advantage. It looks like Verratti may actually be picked up. Salty was able to hold cover, which means that Puppy was unable to confirm the kill and actually gets knocked in response. Salty with a perfectly cooked nade. The smoke will go down to allow him to make the crossing. Doesn't even wait for it to pop, though. That was a purely ceremonial smoke that had no actual value. As now Salty, again, going to make this push. But yeah, they're doing this right. Up at the top of the stairs. Going to throw a couple of bodies at the problem, though, and pulled off the pickup, so that's a big deal here for Syndicate.
And they threw a grenade up there. Oh, no, it was actually a smoke. So, yeah, they're stalling here a lot. I think they can definitely use their numbers to an advantage and just, you know, steamroll it, body block it, go 3 up there. And I have to assume their chances will be pretty good on getting the final blow here. But I guess M249, Stairwell, there's a risk there. Now in the back line, Scream from Furious coming up to support. So their slight advantage that they did have, no longer the case.
Syndicate's going to hear these footsteps. They're all getting ticked down by the blue. That's something to remember. Doesn't do a ton of damage at this point in the game, but they don't have a lot of HP to work with. The revive did end up coming out. And the zone, ooh, still a factor here. Nades are being thrown. Scream doesn't have a helmet, though, Dave, and that could spell disaster for the hopes of Furious Gaming here. Syndicate looking to continue to try and get these kills. That's your teammate, but good attempt. Yep, good try. All right, going around the corner. Triple jump shot.
Okay.
And the turn. Okay. Okay.
Oof. Wow, that took about 7 minutes. I'm impressed. But they came out on top. Syndicate right there, pulling out those bench players. somehow winning the exchange against Furious Gaming. And Furious Gaming not sweating too much because they already got that PMGC golden ticket from Latin America. So they're kind of just having a good time out there. But Syndicate trying their best here to qualify. They're going to have a long journey ahead. But that's a good start, you know, come into game number 2, get some early game kill points, and they should be able to get that loot, get some vehicles, and rotate their way on into that next zone. And talk about having a good time. I think we're catching up with some A7 members here, doing a little bit of drifting out here on the Miramar map.
They did lose one early, though, so not the best, not the happiest start ever for them. And also not super happy if you're Furious Gaming, because, yes, you have that golden ticket on to the PMGC for LATAM, but at the same time, if you're getting taken down by, like, bench players for, like, the lowest-ranked NA team...
You went there.
I did, I'm sorry. Also not feeling so good. Come on, Furious Gaming. I know it's the end of the final day here. Chances of making it top 8, not super high. But at the same time, I want to see you play up to your fullest potential. We have seen good things from them, so I want to see that continue. But what I want to see, Dave, you're not going to get your wish, but I might.
That's actually a really good point that he brought up, though, right? Like, Furious Gaming, not sure exactly what happened there. Yeah, they got their spot, so maybe they're just kind of chill, not, you know, on the edge of their seat, I guess you could say. Maybe their batteries aren't fully charged here, but yeah, getting taken out early game by some bench players coming on maybe their first or second game of the tournament, not a good look. I agree with you. You would think that they would use these games as an opportunity to really practice and hone in their skills, because the next stage is going to be even challenging compared to this one, because we're going to have Navi, we're going to have Unicorns of Love. Oh, it's going to be a doozy. But talk about being a doozy, Space in!
Oh!
Kaboom!
Oh, goodbye.
Kaboom, goodbye.
Kaboom, kaboom, goodbye. Honored Souls, again, team shooting, when this comes out, these vehicles don't last long because they don't miss a lot of shots. Once they get the lock-in with that spray, it's pretty much game over. You have to hope that you can get behind cover in time, which I think is what they were thinking there, but not going to be the case. So we're seeing the circle now. Teams rotating it along the south. They will have to head back up to the north in order to ensure that they are in this next zone. But this one's going to be interesting because there's a lot of terrain here in the south that I'm a huge fan of. Going up into it, out of the city, okay. Coming back down, though, you are fully exposed on those cliff sides, Dave. If they're a team posted up in the south of Los Leones keeping an eye out, they could be just, it's shooting fish in a barrel. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, at least Honored Souls, to me, it looks like they got that one kaboom goodbye, and now they're on the hunt, right? They're on the chase, on the rundown, trying to catch up with the esports team, trying to get some more kill points, because they recognize that it is early game, and they do need points. Honored Souls is one of those teams that I would say are right there on the cusp, currently with 137 total points, so they still have the potential here to qualify for PMGC, and of course, that's the goal. I keep bringing it up every day because Honored Soul is such an interesting story. Is that Inyo quit the game, came back, now here competing to be #1 in the world, and they need to get to PMGC to do that.
That's the next step of the journey. Obviously a player that's familiar with the highest level of competition, now potentially primed to make it back to that world stage once again. Knights taking shots down towards Black Dragons, though, able to pick up 1 kill. Black Dragons is very split, Dave, which part of the reason that kill was so easy to pick up. You know, your teammates aren't there, can't lay down the smokes in time, can't help give you any cover, any support. And I think at this stage in the game, for where teams are and the nature of this circle, I don't hate being spread out, but they may be pushing it just a little too far because they're not in the city proper. They're sort of on the outskirts.
Yeah, especially after the compliments that I did give them from game #1. They had a couple kill points and a pretty solid finish there. And I mentioned that their IGL trying to hone in on their in-game calls when it comes to that late game and those team fights not folding underneath the pressure. And I agree with you right there with Knights overlooking them right there on that west side of Los Leones. I agree. I don't necessarily like the spot that they're holding down right now either, because you have to assume other teams are going to look at the area and start to collapse. And talk about collapsing, well, Honored Souls looking to make the pull-up. Remember, I mentioned they're on the hunt. Well, they're trying to steal the deal right now.
Nino comes in with the big gun and just mows down Fraternity Esports. The charge in an instant. Blink and you miss it. They finish things up just like that. Honored Souls. Wow. Oh, me, oh my, Dave. That's how you breach a compound. That was just dirty.
Yeah, I guess with the M249, you know, just pre-fire that bad boy. That's exactly how you breach it.
All spray, no pray, baby.
I have to agree. That hip fire doesn't miss, man, when you got that many bullets. And now, Honored Souls, to me, they got a huge spot down there in the south. They're the only team. So if we're talking placement points, they got it in the bag, I have to assume. Compared to other teams like we're checking in right now, Team Queso, BC, all these squads on the move, moving out from Picado. They need to reposition. They need to find a new spot to call home. And you called it. Urban combat finish. Will we get it? Where the next circle still has the majority of Los Leones still in play.
Yeah, I mean, this is my favorite part of the map. I talk about it all the time. This southern mountain range just outside of Los Leones, so much fun, so much great terrain. Teams can get shoulder to shoulder without even necessarily being able to see each other, which means that you get a lot of super chaotic fights. The communication needs to be flawless in order to navigate this treacherous terrain. And we'll see which team is going to be able to do that and rise up to the top. Maybe it'll be Rise as they're coming in from the north, staring down 19 Esports, who, Dave, not the best game number one. They need to make something happen here because they're just falling further and further down that leaderboard.
That they are. They got many reasons right now to want to come out on top, so hopefully they can do so, and they're going to have to overcome the hurdle of Rise Esports, currently in third place on the overall leaderboards, currently with 90 kills in total. So Rise, a team that is really confident in their gun skills, and 19E, they have been slipping and sliding. Hopefully today, 5 more games to go, they can make that comeback. But talk about making that comeback. I see Killswitch just trying to get inside that garage safe and sound without getting their head taken off.
I like the little duck there. You notice that? The bullets flying right overhead. That might have actually saved his life, or at least avoided the down for now. Nice little play there from Killswitch, but like I said, has already lost one player. Not ideal. And looking at Bluk Chaptan, another one of these teams, we asked the question, was that first game a fluke, or will they be able to continue to heat up the map? We're back on Miramar, so that question still to be answered. Team Queso, Mizexis, Dave,
hitting that reverse.
They're scrapping. They're scrapping.
Hitting that reverse. I mean, 24K looking at popping that vehicle and push uphill, immediately getting shot upon. This is going to be Remo. This is going to be Ayala. Team Queso trying to get these opening knocks with these grenades. Meanwhile, Mizexis kind of just pulling back a little bit, back against the wall here. And this is going to be the north end next circle, so they need to be very mindful of taking this fight, trying to win this fight, and then repositioning, because uphill we can see 19E, they are set up really good in this new circle.
They are right on the edge of it. There's sort of this path that weaves its way through the mountains, which they are playing gatekeeper over. There's also the big central road coming out of Los Leones that is right in the center, and a couple of sort of these mountain-ish tops. And the teams that can get up there early, teams like Rise, teams like Atan, teams like Knights, not quite, but on their way, could be in an absolutely fantastic position. But Team Queso is going to make the push to take one of their own, pushing into 19 Esports. Axel needs to get out of the vehicle, because that's what happens if you don't. The shots connect, and Team Queso down a player.
So when we look at the kaboom goodbye count, well, that's number 2. Will we get a number 3 out here? Team Queso looking to make the pull up inside the garage. Bullets locked and loaded, ready to go. They were able to breach the garage, but only 2 of them made it inside.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a rough position. The send comes around the corner, clotheslined, as you can see. Lanin doing a pretty decent job there. Ayala trying to stabilize the rest of the squad. 19 Esports, what can they do? Oh, way too much. The double peek coming in 2 different angles. Leon is there to follow up, but Mizex is going to continue to step up in their stead. The fight doesn't stop for 19.
Day right there. I mean, 19E, they're just playing with newfound confidence. Inside this compound, still 3 up. They are defending it back to back now. Let's see if they can win this fight against Mizexis on the outskirts.
All right, we'll see. They're going to be able to find the shots to open this one up. Good shots coming in from 24K. Sam barely surviving. I want to note, this is actually not in the next circle. Teams have to move in a little bit, so keep an eye on that. Starlight debating if they want to use the Molotov to try and give themselves a bit of an angle by forcing 19 out of position with that AoE effect.
Solitude Oh, catching. Leon slipping with that UMP. Little tear dropping from my eye right there. And let's see, 19E trying to just survive here. 24K Starlight inside the compound trying to flush him out. Meanwhile, Sam, the last one alive with the party hat on, just trying to survive right now. Ooh, 4 kills. That was good. That was good against Team Queso, but looks like Mazexis got the better half of him right here.
Yeah, and I think Sam holding that off angle, it did really well when the team pushed into the compound, but the second they were inside that building, it just really wasn't able to offer a whole lot more. And because of that, they were able to get a numerical advantage on the inside, double peek them from multiple angles simultaneously, and you know, that's kind of how guns work, Dave. You can only shoot in one direction at a time. That's how that works.
Wow. Knowledge right there.
Knowledge.
I know. I could tell you've been reading some books. You've been reading some books here.
I have read a book. Yeah.
A book. Okay, well, talk about reading books. I think Mufasa, dead center, might be reading a book right now as well. You have to assume they're going to be favored in the next zone, but they need to be cautious because I see at least 2 squad mates from Xset right below them. So Mufasa needs to make sure not to overextend. And I would assume they're calling for the collapse, like the regroup from their teammates right now with this new zone.
This new zone is pretty toxic, Dave. We have this road right in the center that's going to split it in half. So teams basically have to choose what side do you want to be on. And even then, you've got to just hug onto a rock and hope you can keep your head down. But looking towards Mazexis, they're coming in from this northern side as we're taking a look back at how this all went down. Team Queso. Oh, no.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
All right, well, he's like, hey, it's good. It's all good. It's all good.
Bring me back in. Come on. Props to ours, because this is actually funny.
Hold on. I assume he gets the, okay. Hey, round of applause right there. That's teamwork right there. Team Queso. Sad that they're dead now, though. After all that much hard work.
They are.
They're gone. Virum. Yeah, they're not here anymore. So talk about the BM.
Their spirit remains in every vehicle overturned on Miramar. We shall remember.
Very true.
So, very true. Mazexis, Syndicate were able to make it into this circle after the trials and tribulations of the early game. 3 players up and alive into the 4. Mazexis nades continue to come out. Can they find the opening knock? That will be absolutely critical for one of these teams trying to make the push on in. Nades are falling left and right. Even some flashbang being thrown out for good measure. And here comes the send, but Starlight right on top of it. That was his own grenade!
Yeah, looking for those flashy plays, looking for that drop shot, jump shot with the M249 spray down. Oh, and they're going to be losing another one. So this is going to be Syndicate. We saw them early on. They're able to get a couple kills. They're looking to take out Mazexis right now on the edge.
Oh, going from bad to worse to a hearse if they keep this one up. Multiple players down, and Syndicate are charging in. It's a 2v2. The revive comes out. Solitude needs to stand strong with this M4 and prevent the push on in. They can hear the footsteps. Meds are being pulled off, but this one's going to be close because, Dave, neither of these teams in the next circle. Solly, pop up, get the shots. Yes, there's one. Can they find the second? M249 continues to spray. The Salty. I'm looking to try and pick up this kill. Mazexis, either way, can they get it done? Salty stays alive. UMP just too huge.
Ulti! The one-man wrecking ball now turning their back to Mazexis, trying to reposition and not take that blue zone damage. Starlight still up though, health really low. Trying to pop these boosts, but we'll be picking up 24K first. The whole team trying to get that reset, that pickup. If Salty had a molly, if Salty had a grenade, and they can toss that right over here and land it on the money, that could be huge right now. And next zone goes up. Both these teams, they need to move in Virum.
They do. They are so far from the circle. They have the road to cross as well as we're centering on up. Battle the haves and the have-nots. Do you have the high ground? Do you have any cover to speak of? Because if you don't, it's a smoke grenade and, oh, a prayer that you're going to be able to make it into this next zone alive, because we still have 12 teams up and in it, Dave, and basically no one has made it here unscathed.
Salty. Dead. What'd you say? Back to the hearse? If you're worse versus the worst, what'd you say? Because I loved it, by the way. What'd you
went from bad to worse to a hearse.
To a hearse. That's, oh, man. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
If that's not in a rap song by the end of the year, I'm going to be real upset, all right? PUBG Mobile community, I give this to you. As we're seeing the Sens coming into this next one at the bottom, the base of this cliff, grenades could spell disaster! As Soul drop 2 immediately. Rise gonna look to continue to follow up. Chief needs to try and make their way out, but the nades are continuing to fly on in, continue to do the damage. Mufasa, can you find the angle? Not quite, because the pressure from Nova is still here. But that Molly, Dave, that's what they're looking for. Trying to find that barbecue. As Chief is the last one left alive as the nades. No, I spoke too soon. Nova comes in and cleans it up.
Yeah, that was an Honored Soul sandwich right there. They got the grenades from behind from Nova, and then the pressure from Rise and their weapons up in the front line. So we're down to 7 teams. A7 also taken out in the mix, in the chaos right here. But Mazexis alive. Mythic seeing that helmet from Solitude popping up in the ghillie suit, taking him out with the one-tap dirt nap.
Oh my goodness, it's easy to get headshots when that's all you can see. Mythic looking to pop on up like the boogeyman right there. Continue to keep up the pressure as Jay drops to that nade. Mythic, though, being picked apart by Atan Esports. We talked about the haves, the have-nots. These are the haves right here up on the high ground. 9 kills to their name, Dave. The circles have favored them time and again, but they have taken full advantage of it. At this point, this is Atan Esports game to lose. Zexed is getting pushed on up. Rise looking to put them on down, ascending to that next level. Can they find the shots? Kill Switch and Jay are still up in this. Polo will try and gather intel. Mazexis, Starlight at the back is actually splitting the team in half, stopping the backup from actually arriving. Kill Switch needs to be careful though, stuck. Pins her up against the wall. The wraparound from Garrix finds one. Can they find the second? Yes! Rise Esports. My goodness, Dave.
Talk about rising to the occasion. They push that as a duo as well, because the other duo on the opposite end of the road, they were getting pushed from Mazexis, so they took fights with Mazexis. They took fights with Exit, and they're still alive.
Damn near a 30-minute game.
And they have zone. And if the zone comes down to this low ground, Atan Esports will have to make this crossing. We'll have to make the descent. But as I say that, continuing to get picked apart from the high ground, Dylan is... we'll see. We'll see what they can do here, because this is 13 kills for Atan.
Atan, they started the finals day 1 strong.
Get the circle.
Since then, being consistent. But right now, 13 kills, 4 up.
13 kills.
Looks like they are going to have to move just a little bit. I'm really curious if they have any ledge still available to them, or will they need to scale down now? If they do, you have to assume the spot that Milos and Cardi are, that's where they're going to pop down. But they need to be very mindful that Nova are also down there. And they might have a good idea because they see some vehicles. So let's see as we get a better vantage here.
They do have some up there on the high ground.
Is it? Okay.
It is. Just a little bit. Nova are in it as well, down on the low ground. So they will be able to sort of make their way around on the very edge. Players will have to group up, though, which could leave them exposed. You can see Jifan here. Try and throw a grenade up. I mean, I guess you might as well try. It's probably not going to do a whole lot, though.
Oh.
More likely to hit your own teammates, I think, at this point.
So Atan up here. I love it. One thing that I would like to see them do before it gets chaotic is pass all their meds off to at least one of their teammates, just in case. Just in case. They do not want to throw this. They have the clear advantage right now. They have a ton of kills, but if this next circle doesn't favor them, they might opt to leave one here. And Milos, well, thinking about it. Looking to get 2 points right here.
Here we go.
Where's it going? Oh, we're looking for that bounce. Close.
Doesn't quite make it through that window, but you can see Rise just respawn. If that had found that... Oh! For 2! Oh my goodness.
What were you saying?
We're potentially looking at the highest kill game of the entire weekend here, Dave. Atan Esports just needs to leave one up on the high ground. They have the circle, and the other 3 can make their way down to try and pressure this out. They're going to try and butt them up with some nades. That one doesn't quite connect, but that's okay. It's a thought that counts, as it's a 3v4. But Nova, what can you do against this?
Real talk, Atan right now, the whole squad, my spirit animal. I got a feeling, and they're jumping down now. They're looking to get the winner chicken dinner. They're looking for it.
And with that, with the big opening knock, double knock, Choco, hello, sir, yes, please. Continue to feed the kills over. Rin will try and get one back here at the end, but 2 teammates are down. Nova Esports in shambles, and that's it. Atan Esports gets it done. They get that chicken dinner. with a staggering number of kills. 18, Dave. I think that's our new weekend record.
You were talking about Tom Cruise earlier on. You were talking about Mission Impossible. Well, right there, I got flashbacks. All those Aton members just dropping down one at a time on their little zip line, trying to get that final montage kill shot to win the game right there. And a ton of kills from Aton. A ton of kills. That is what they needed to try to solidify themselves within that top spot of the overall leaderboards. But we also have to mention Nova Esports. They did not get the chicken, but the second place, that's 12 points plus whatever kills they got that game as well. They needed that big time here in Vero.
Oh, absolutely, because I want to remind folks, it's been a hot minute since game number 1. Again, apologies for the delays and the tech issues, but they got that many. They got 0. They got absolutely no points in that first game. They went out in 16th place in game number 1. So being able to pull up a second place finish here, being able to come back strong after the break, hugely important for them because there was quite a few points between them and that top 8, Dave. As we take a look back, thank you to these teams, by the way, because we could have had a very boring early game, let's be real. And these two teams, Syndicate, Furious Gaming, thank you so much. You were so entertaining.
This was a 7-minute fight, too. You got to give it to them, like the endurance right here, because the meds, the armor, the ammo, you have to assume they looted real quick and then immediately got into that fight. But this is what we were talking about, that mid game, the Black Dragon spread right there, and looks like it didn't work out for him. Didn't work out at the end of the day.
Not, and we're keeping an eye on sort of how some of these early fights broke out. And Sam, this off angle, oh my goodness, almost killed 2 with 1 clip. Absolutely huge, but look at that turn from Leon. Okay, I see what's going on here, but yeah, that was dirty.
Yeah, popping off. I mean, those game sense right there, his aim is just on point. And honestly, if I had to pick like a wild card here to really slay and really surprise everybody, I would say 19E. I just got a good feeling they might qualify to PMGC. I mean, if they can continue with the momentum, with the gun skills that they got going on right now, and just rely on their tried and true strategy of third partying, they might just be able to pull it off here in Vero.
I mean, they got to continue to channel this game, though, and not the last one. They've been a little 50-50 so far today, but I agree. We have seen this team pop off. I want to see them return to the roots of how they got here, channel that third-party king energy, because that's where this team excels. Coming in, finding sick angles, amazing flanks, flawless timing, and speaking of timing,
this grenade.
Kaboom.
Oh, my goodness. That grenade is just beautiful. And then at the end, of course, everybody just dropping down, trying to get that final kill onto Nova. What a game. That's game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty exciting stuff. We got more PUBG Mobile. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The OnePlus 9 Pro. The OnePlus 9 Pro. Oh my God. Phone feels incredible. The best processor, 120 hertz, 12 gigs of RAM, and a Hasselblad camera. What more could you want?
The Hyper Touch on this bad boy is phenomenal.
The best model of OnePlus phone I have used to date.
Welcome back to PMPL America's Desk Studio VR World. First and foremost, we do want to apologize for all the technical difficulties leading up until now, but the show is back and the show will keep on trucking. My name is Cameron Davis, joined by Seven and Glitter. And guys, that Miramar match, those hills just to the east of Los Leones are very, very difficult to try and play around. What with the high ground and the low ground, you saw at the end, the dynamic between 87 and Nova show that in full force. But Seven, walk me through the overall map ranking. Who got how many points?
Yes, sir. And I love that Aton Esports literally decided to just go for it. They didn't try to go for a heal off. They wanted to go get the skills. And I mean, they ended up with 18 kills total, 33 points for them. And then we do have Rise Esports here, which is great for them because at the beginning of the day, it wasn't a hot start. They were able to secure at least 17 points. Nova Esports, that's another team that ended up with a 0-point game at the beginning. For them to be able to get 16 points, it's huge because they're currently in that contention to get into the 8th spot. Nice. 9 points for them. Missex's Esports an A, actually. This is a pleasant surprise. I'm so used to seeing them on that second page towards the bottom, so for them to get 9 points as well, it's great. Honor Souls as well, 8 points. And Exit being able to at least clutch up 7 points, 6 of them coming from placement points. 19 Esports as well, being able to get at least 5 points. Ash, we're going to be going here towards the second page, Glitter.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of teams on here that needed these points to continue pushing up the leaderboard throughout today. Buluk Chaptan ends up with 4 points. Alpha 7, though, only with 3, which will be potentially good if they, for at least second and third place, if they're trying to maybe even come close to overtaking them. Syndicate and Queso both with 3 and 2 points respectively. But these are the teams that I'm talking about down here towards the bottom. Black Dragons and Furious Gaming, 2 of those teams that definitely could have used more than 1 point apiece. So that's going to make their uphill battle that much harder.
I'm shocked. I didn't realize 87 got that many kills, really just showing complete high ground supremacy from that entire game. 18 kills, so they are tied with kills with Exet Sanok 3rd place finish for most kills overall this event. I think the fact that they were actually able to close it out, we're going to give them the edge and say that they are now in the lead. But Glitter, let's look at who is in the lead for, it's 87. Let's see how far in the lead 87 are in damage this time around.
I mean, what's impressive is that they didn't even hit the 3K damage mark for those 18 kills. They did a really, really good job. I mean, they had a solid position over everybody for the end there as well, making it a little bit easier for them to take those fights, but still 2,700 damage for those 18 kills. And you could see just how far it drops off from there in comparison. Rise at almost 1,200 damage with 7 kills. But like you were saying, Seven, Mizex is up here with over 1,100 kills, or 1,100 damage. I mean, that's something that they definitely needed. We were hoping to see this out of them yesterday. It might be too little too late, but at least it's nice to see them showing up again here. Honored Souls, another team that did need the points. They needed the kill points and the placement points, so 7 kills is going to be massive for them. And then actually surprised with Nova's damage and kills here. They were able to really, really make a solid use of their placement points this time around, in contrast to their kills.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much didn't need to or didn't have the opportunities, but Nova, them sneaking into the end game like that, shall we say, or at least being very quiet, getting into the second place, we'll see how that affects their chances, because they're one of the teams that really needs to pick up their points to try and make it into the top 8. 2 teams that don't need to worry about that. Instead, they just need to worry about trying to maybe steal a 7's first place spot is going to be Exet and Rise. And so 7, we want to take a quick look at their head-to-head stats from today so far. Just today, so it's just going to be the first 2 games.
And the reason why we want to do that, we saw it at the beginning of the day. Rise Esports started in 2nd place. Exit, after the first game, they were able to jump to that 2nd place. And with what just happened on that last Miramar, I can tell you that they're back again for Rise Esports. Is back again to 2nd place, as we are able to see here the stats. And oh my gosh, I mean, Exit's currently being able to get more damage than Rise Esports. Definitely average more placement points, which we totally saw it right there in that last match. They were able to get most of their points. run placement, and they're currently averaging 2 more kills. That is an extra 2 points more per game, which is quite impressive. If Exit can definitely continue this, those two teams are currently separated by just 4 points. If they can continue this and actually maintain that kind of performance, Exit can end up in 2nd place and maybe push for 1st place, as Cam was saying. Something to keep in mind is that 2nd and 3rd place, the difference in prize pool is actually $10,000, Cam.
Ooh, yeah, we saw the Rise. They knew that. We saw that they even sent it immediately onto Xset's position. Very risky play. They were able to come out on top because they need that extra 10K. They want that silver medal, even if gold is out of the reach. For Atan getting that win, very, very solid footing in the top 8. I don't think they're going to have to worry about falling out of that PMGC qualification. But Glenn, let's look at their player stats from this game. It was an explosive match from them. They got a huge number of points. So as always, it's going to be interesting to see how that has been distributed.
You know, this is actually slightly reminiscent of what we've seen coming out of Xset. I mean, looking at all these stats here, obviously 844 damage from Milos is going to be the highest damage. 6 kills, 3 knockouts, but actually tied that with Chuko there at 6 kills and 3 knockouts as well. But the fact that we're seeing all 3 of these players up here at pretty much the 800 damage-esque area, that is a really, really solid coordinated team effort. We see almost 300 damage out of Cardi, but still managing to make sure that they got 2 kills on here, a knockout on here, and I mean, this makes sense to me. This actually, it feels good. I was wondering just how much of a difference there was going to be with all these players, but to be fair, we've seen Chuko up on our top 3 players before after games, so this is a really solid performance out of Atan.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard for a team to have such a strong performance with only 1, maybe 2 players really pushing the way. So definitely if you want to have 18 kills in a game, unless one player is absolutely popping off, which is rare to see, you definitely need 3 players like this, and then Cardi, of course, coming in for the support, coming in for the assist. Listen, every single player is valuable. I'm not just saying that as a participation trophy. It truly is. You only have 4 players in a squad. Even just finding information, even just covering someone while your teammates are pushing, there are so many things that players do that's valuable in the game that is impossible, if not incredibly difficult, to sort of replicate in stats. Now, what's coming up next is going to be our last Sanhok match of this entire tournament. And because down to the wire, every single map is that much more important for the teams to do well, we wanted to, I guess, check in on the teams that perform best on Sanhok to see the top 3 teams here, Seven. So walk me through this.
Definitely, I can't wait to see that graphic. Something to keep in mind. I mean, you said it best. Atan Esports, for all the players to be performing that well, it makes me excited to see what they're going to be able to do here in Sanhok. We do see, I mean, when it comes to Sanhok, we've seen what Alpha 7 has been able to do. They've been able to put out the most damage. They've been able to put up the most kills as well. But then when we go to Team Queso, something that they started to do after, I believe, was the 2nd day, they started to change their tactics. They started going back to that heal off, and it showing off right there when it comes to the average survival time. For them to still be able to put up 3.6 kills, it's huge because it's definitely points that they need. And I'm not surprised to see Rise Esports here. I mean, what can we say about that team? They've been super consistent. They've been able to get some chicken dinners as well. And for them to be able to kind of be putting up almost 1,000 damage and 5 kills on Sanhok is going to be interesting. Although, I do want to mention some teams that are currently not there that need the points in this next one. It's considering it's the last Sanhok. Hopefully, they can take advantage of all the madness. I'm going to be a little bit NA bias here. I want to see once again what Nova's going to be able to do, what 19 Esports is going to be able to do, because keep in mind, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nova already has a chicken dinner in Sanhok.
Sorry, I'm looking at it right now. Maybe? It's hard to tell. I don't think so, actually. I think it's a Miramar and an Erangel for them. So, hey, if they get the Sanhok, if Nova get the Sanhok, they can get the whole Triple Crown. They've done the whole world tour, which some could say that is more important than PMGC qualification. Some could, I don't know. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. I'm just trying to cover all my bases here. We also want to look at Alpha 7 comparison amongst themselves, actually, because if you remember, guys, I'm sure you do, they had a very, very strong opening day. solid second day, but Seven, you mentioned at the very beginning of the day, it has been a downward trajectory, and Glitter, you pointing out that they only got 3 points yet again today. I don't know, how does this read? Do we think that they're potentially slipping from their first place spot, Glitter?
I mean, something has definitely changed. But to be fair to them, how do you replicate 4 chicken dinners in a row? I mean, we've never seen something like that before. So this is obviously their day one performance versus the rest of the weekend. Their average damage significantly higher. Their heals were lower, which is ideal. The average kills were higher. They were alive longer. I mean, yes, they've definitely slowed down, but even on day 2, even into yesterday, we were still seeing the very A7-esque performances where even if they had 1 or 2 placement points here and there, they were still getting a decent amount of kills. It was just more interspersed with those less impressive performances, which we hadn't really seen at all, period, from A7 until yesterday. So, I mean, I by no means are they failing because they've been too good to even be considered, you know, in like that realm. But it's opening the door, to say the least, for all of the other teams that needed every single point they could get their hands on.
It just slowed down a little bit. And going off to that stat that we were able to see in regards to the kills, usually the person that gets about 2.5 kills, Carrillo, is surely not performing that well. You saw me talk about it at the beginning of the show, how he's also been on a high and it's kind of been slowing down. Today, so far, after 2 matches, he only has 1 kill, which, I mean, that's not the performance. Sorry, Carrillo, to call you out, but that's not the performance that I'm kind of used to. I've been spoiled by Alpha 7. I want to see those 4 chicken dinners again with insane amount of kills.
All right, to be fair, Alpha 7, before they got their 4 wins in a row, they had a 15th and a 12th place. So maybe he's unlocked the G code, bombed 2 games, and then outperform all the other 4. But nonetheless, Glitter, you mentioned it, this is still potentially opening the door for Xset and Rise to maybe come up and take that first place spot. So before we go into Sanhok, we wanted to show you guys a video so you can learn more about Rise Gaming.
What is going on, everybody? Mustache Day with Mufasa from Rise Esports, trying to rise up out here. How's it going, man?
Sim, estou bem, tudo bem. Com vocês, como estão?
Oh, I'm doing good, Mufasa. So if you don't mind me asking, can you describe your team and yourself? What makes you, you?
Cara, a nossa equipe, o diferencial da nossa equipe é o conjunto, né? Muito trabalho, muito foco, muita dedicação, sempre com profissionalismo nas competições, para ter um melhor desempenho. E eu também, bastante focado nos meus objetivos. Acho que isso faz diferencial em toda a competição, o foco e a dedicação.
How would you describe your team, Rise Esports, against the competition?
Estamos bastante ansiosos, né, para a competição. Sabemos que vai ser um campeonato de altíssimo nível, uma das PMPLs Américas mais difíceis que vai ter. Então, estamos se preparando para realizar uma competição bem e sair bem nela no final.
So with that in mind then, Mufasa, what has Rise Esports been doing to prepare for Americas? Anything you can let us know?
Estamos assistindo bastante as lives, né, das competições anteriores, tanto como a PMPL NA, como a PMPL Latam também, para ter um melhor aprendizagem ali das 5 equipes que estão classificadas, para conhecer melhor, né? E conhecendo melhor elas nas finais, vamos ter mais chances de fazer uma boa competição.
All right, pretty solid here. So, what are your goals, ambitions?
Os objetivos são os maiores possíveis, né? Campeão das Américas. Esse é o objetivo. O que vier vai ser a consequência.
Nice. Final question here. What are you looking forward to most in the Americas?
Eu espero uma competição difícil, né? Pelo nível das equipes, de altíssimo nível, e espero uma experiência muito boa também da competição.
All right, thanks Mufasa for taking the time to chat with your boy. Best of luck to the team.
up, Mike? Sure, go ahead. Appreciate it.